All right, Neil, really an excellent senior day today for Penn State. 38-3 over Maryland. The offense was really good. Trace McSorley looked healthy again. The defense was great. Well, what did you think of just watching Trace today and maybe kind of getting some memories of how he was until that knee injury?
Yeah, I mean, I think he had his September quickness, really. The way he stepped through the pocket and just accelerated, it was great to see him go out. The way they choreographed it, got a curtain call. Because I thought they should have introduced him as a captain last in the pregame. It was right in the middle with, he had, it just didn't seem all that well scripted to me. But he played real well in his final game. It was probably their best overall performance.
Seeing him be able to run, that's the key to this Penn State offense that we've come to know. When he can take off, it's so difficult for a defense to prepare for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably been their signature play with him for the better part of 3 years. When you look at the fact that he has over 1,600 yards rushing, 29 rushing touchdowns, it's just a staggering stat. I think that they just did a more complete job today. They were ready to play. I think Maryland was kind of worn down from last week as well.
Right, we'll get to Maryland in a second. Penn State's defense was sensational today. Yetur Gross-Matos, 3.5 tackles for loss. He's got 20 for the season. I continue to be very impressed with the job Brent Pry, Sean Spencer, everybody on that defensive side have done, because I truly wondered what this defense would look like. They've been outstanding lately.
Yeah, and they continue to improve as the year has gone on. They've really finished strong. You go back, and obviously their pass defense in some situations let them down, particularly in the opener against App State. Kind of raised a red flag, and then obviously Ohio State and Michigan, although body of work, they played well enough to win. But for the most part of the season, I think it's been the most consistent unit.
What did you think of Maryland? Because they lose 52-51 against Ohio State. Maryland's been able to run the ball on a lot of people, but held to 70 yards today. You give a lot of credit to Penn State's defense, but with everything Maryland has gone through, and your heart goes out to all the kids in that program, just a tough year. This was a tough spot for Maryland. They were playing to get into a bowl game, but it just didn't look like – it looked like that Ohio State game really lingered on.
Yeah, and Matt Canada's comments after the game said, there were 3 points that separated the last couple weeks. So obviously they had brought the Ohio State game, unfortunately, with them. McFarland, who had over 200 yards against Ohio State, only got really about 15 or 20 here and wasn't 100%. So that really took away. Maryland has not had a real good passing attack, I think, for a couple of years.
It should be a good bowl game. We'll see how everything shakes out. A lot of games still in play. Maybe Fiesta Bowl or Peach Bowl is a possibility. It looks like the Citrus Bowl is the strongest possibility. That would be maybe a Kentucky or a Florida kind of opponent. But hey, it would be a chance to play a good team that's having a good year and a chance to maybe win 10 games.
Yeah, and I think it would also give them a chance for another signature win. A signature win. Yeah, a win that you could really feel good about, especially if it's Florida. Kentucky has had a good year. Florida's a name brand program. I think that would be, they've beaten Pitt, Iowa, and Wisconsin, and Pitt and Wisconsin didn't do very well today. So it's one more chance, and this would be, to get a win over somebody you could feel good about.
It's late Saturday. We don't know how everything's going to play out at USC. They're playing right now. Maybe Clay Helton keeps his job, maybe he doesn't. We'll know that in the coming days. The bottom line is James Franklin said he has no plans to leave. Now, obviously, plans can change, but this is a 9-3 year, a chance for another 10-win year. Whatever James Franklin, whatever happens with him, if he's here 10 years or one more day, James Franklin has done a pretty darn good job here.
I think so, absolutely. When you look at where the program was, he's brought a lot of stability, a lot of enthusiasm to the program. They're recruiting very well. You have to replace McSorley, which is going to be a big loss. I mean, KJ Hamler said, McSorley, he said, we'll be okay without Trace, but we'll miss him. I wasn't sure what exactly that meant, because I think there is going to be a significant transition, not just with him next year, but really when you look at the quarterback position for 2 years. But we'll have plenty of time to get to that. But I think obviously James has done a really, really good job here, and I think would be in a lot of ways difficult to replace.
Real quick, could you have possibly seen Ohio State putting it on Michigan the way they did, 62-39.
They are a big game team. You know, they obviously can't get the players' attention or the staff's attention at certain points in certain seasons. But man, to be able to blow out Michigan, I was so impressed with the physical strength of Michigan. That surprised me. Although Michigan disappointed me, how plodding they are on offense.
And that's Harbaugh. That's something. Jim Harbaugh's a good coach. I think he's vastly overrated. If they're going to get to that level, he's just going to have to get with the times a little bit more.
You would think so, but I mean, because they were running 2 tight ends and a fullback against Penn State, and that worked. Hey, the guy's gone to a Super Bowl. I mean, I don't think that's an accident. But whether he certainly hasn't transcended to Michigan and translated to Michigan in terms of success. I mean, 0-4 against Ohio State, that's what you were hired to do, beat Ohio State.
No question. All right, we'll catch up with you again before the bowl game, or if there's any news between now and then. Thanks for watching.